What's up, YouTube? It's the Dawn, where shit gets real. And today I'm going to keep it real with you guys, like always. Remember, guys, this is just my opinion, my thought. You know, I'm not trying to down nobody. I'm not trying to pump nobody up. I'm just giving you my opinion, okay? So, got that out the way. Today we're going to be looking at this Aeolus clone. Now, when these first came out, I was kind of, intrigued about it because I like, different. And this was definitely different. The original ones cost $80, $79.99. Okay, and to me, $80, that's a little pricey for an RDA. That's just to me. To me that might be, to you it might be cheap. To me, I'm team super cheap. Even though I can afford it, I just I'm, like I say in my other videos, I got responsibilities. I'm a different type of dude. I got responsibilities. I got, I just can't be throwing away money on Addies when I got 100 of them and it's 20 more about to come out next week, that I might want to get my hands on. But this one was kind of different. So I was torn back and forth. Should I get the real one? Should I wait for a clone? Well, when these first came out, somebody of course cloned it almost immediately, but it looked kind of janky. So I waited a little while, and at first they didn't have the little adapter fins on the bottom, and then they started cloning them with the little, adapter fin. I'll show you in a close-up. But I got this one, and, I'm glad I waited for the clone. That's just me, my personal opinion. And don't get me wrong, it's a nice device, but I don't feel like, it's a $80 RDA. Just to me, it doesn't. Now, right off the bat, before I jump up close, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of the difference that I can see. Now, I don't own the original one. I have seen the original one in the vape store, and I played with it, looked at it as best I could. And looking at this and looking at that, I'm going to tell you what I can see. Now, some of you guys may say, oh, it's a whole bunch of other differences. I'm just telling you what I see. Now, first of all, the screws. The original one, the screws looks like they have like, some type of pattern on them where you could like actually grab them with your hands. To me, that's not a big deal because I don't really tighten down my screws. Even to get them started, I don't even tighten them down with my hands. I always grab a screwdriver and tighten them down. So to me, that's not a big deal. It looks like the O-rings are a different color. They might be made out of different material than this. I know this is rubber. Maybe that might be some super rubber. I don't know. I heard somebody say they're real high temperature material, which it may be. I'm assuming that this one in this clone is just plain old rubber. Now, I haven't had any problem with it, melting. And right now I'm running this at a 0.2. I don't want to run it too crazy low because the way it's designed, the air comes down and supposedly hit your coil and then go up, through the mouthpiece. Well, to me, in my opinion, air takes the path of least resistance, okay? So your coils have to be really close to those air holes to benefit all of, this design, which I get it, and I'm not saying it's a bad design, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It works. But your coils have to be really close to those air holes. So your coil have to be like this. And the way they have it designed, you can get your coils, like let's say this is your coil, and this is your air hole. You can get it like right there, almost forcing that air to hit those coils. So the design definitely works. And this clone, I don't have any complaints over it. Now I think they use a peak insulator in the real one. And this one, I'm sure it's not peak. It's probably Delrin. But as far as the O-rings, I mean, this is a heavy little mod. You can see this is the IPV Mini, and I'm holding it just by the brim, and now I'm holding it by the little top cap. So it definitely, the O-rings definitely hold on this one. I was a little concerned about it, and it comes off. Pull it, it comes right off. Now, it does have these little red O-rings, and it came with some extra ones. I'll show you a little package when I dial up close. But, to me, it was well worth I believe I paid $15 for it. It was well worth the $15. Put this back on here. So let's just dive up close, and I'll show it to you close up. Not bad. All right. Here we have it all broken down as far as I'm going to break it down. It came in this little black box with some numbers on it. And it came with some extra O-rings, screwdriver, some cotton, you know, the typical deal, okay? A couple coils in there, all right? Now, the replacement O-rings that they sent with this one were black and not red like the ones that's on here, okay? So let's start with the base. It's a simple 3-post design. I got some really, I think these are 4 mil coils. I believe that's 23 or 20. Yeah, I think that's 23 gauge. But yeah, they got some grip on them. But anyway, it's a 3-post design. The juice well is not super big, but it's cool because once you stick this cap on it, you could basically fill it up to the bottom of your coils and be fine. I've done it, and as long as you're not tipping it over a lot, it won't leak. Or you have, a nice bit of cotton in there to absorb the liquid, it won't leak. Okay, so this burl has a groove on the bottom. You see that groove, which slides onto this area so that you can know the top from the bottom. Now, if you put it on this way, it'll go on, but it won't be correct, okay? And then when you try to put this on, it's not going to be right. So this is a directional cylinder, okay? So it fits on like so. All right, so let's move on to the bottom. Now, this bottom, it does have a copper adjustable 510. I could take this all the way out, and my center pin does not move at all. Okay, so that's kind of cool that it's adjustable. Now, moving down, here's the little heat fin section. Now, I've tried to untwist this with no luck, and I can't untwist it. Now, it sticks out well enough, so it really doesn't need any adjusting. Everything can use some adjustment, but as far as it firing on anything, it's been fine just like that. Like I said, I've put other devices on top of here just for shits and giggles, and it worked. Like, for example, just let me put this Limo on it for shits and giggles so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's that device. Here's this. There we go. Now we got a Limo with a heat fin at the bottom. Okay, so yeah. Now, I usually don't use this little heat fan, but for the video I did, just so I can show you the whole complete, I'll put this on the wrong place, so I can show you the whole device itself. So let's put this back on. The threads on it is smooth. It's no problem. It's perfect. Okay, so here's where the magic happens. This top. Okay, so you see those 3 holes? 3 holes. So the air comes in the side, the top comes in the side, and then it travels down these holes to your coil that'll be sitting like really close here, and then through the mouthpiece. Now this right here is your airflow control. It's got 3 grooves. You can set it up for single or dual. I'm sure you guys seen these videos on these already. This is just a clone, and in my opinion, from what I've seen, it's not a bad clone. Okay, so you would turn this to adjust your airflow tighter, or looser draw. O-rings have been fine. They don't, get caught up when I stick it on there. It pretty much slides right on, no problem. Okay, and it holds. They don't fall off no matter what. I can hold the whole weight of my SX, which is like a really heavy device, and the O-rings will hold it. So yeah, this clone is not bad. Now it does have some marking on the bottom, which I don't think they should do. It's got like a SC, and it's got a serial number. I don't agree with that. They even got the name up here. If they would have took that off, You know, because that's, you know, other people, they work hard on that. So I don't really agree with that. Okay. Clone it, call it something else. Call it, you know, clone number one, clone number two. Call it something else. But I don't agree with, you know, taking other people's names. You know, that's a bad deal. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll just go back up top and I'll tell you, you know, how much I paid for it, where you can get yours, and probably ramble on a little bit. And now, this one did not come with a drip tip. I use my own drip tip. I'm a fan of a drip tip like this with this, you know, I love having like 10 of these things where you can take it apart. You know, it really stops the heat transfer. And I just like sticking Delrin in my mouth instead of metal. Okay? So, yeah, let's go back up top. Vape on this bitch. All right, so we just dived up close with this Aeolus. And I gotta say, man, this clone, you know, I think it's really worth the $15 or $20, or, you know, however much you get them for it. I mean, it varies. You know, the O-rings on this one, it seem to be very well. I mean, I'm holding it by the base. I'm holding it by the edge. It doesn't come off. At first I thought it was going to be a little flimsy, but these O-rings are doing its job very, very well. The airflow control, I pretty much leave mine always, you know, all the way open 99.9% of the time. You know, I do love the design thing with this. You know, I can, you know, you can pretty much, you know, make a nice puddle of juice in this thing without it, you know, leaking. Now, you know, one time I went a little overboard and tilted it and it started coming out. But as far as the bottom, it doesn't. You can put a nice puddle of juice in there and be just fine. Matter of fact, let me re-wick this. Not re-wick it. Put some more juice on it. By the way, I'm vaping this. This shit is bomb, and it's called Bombshell. Bombshell elixirs. Man, this is some. This is the original. This is some really good custard. I need some more of that. But anyway, let me take another toke. Right now, I'm vaping this head. This is a point 0.2 ohm coil, and I'm vaping it at 60 watts. And it's really good. You know, not all clones are created equal. I'm telling you that now. Now I am team cheap, but not all clones are created equal. This one right here, this one gets to go. Now the sad thing about it, like I showed you, it just comes in this little black box. I can't even tell you who made the clone. Um, you know, at least companies like Infinite or, let me take a drink. Some of the other clone makers, you know, they, you know, have a name brand that makes the clones. Even though I got one CLT, I think that's, you know, Infinite's own device. I'm going to be reviewing that thing soon. I can't stand that thing. It's like a clone of a clone of a clone. It's so janky. But anyway, this right here is a go. The clone is a go. Now, me personally, I'm not gonna go out and spend $80 on a real one. This, I don't think there's, you know, those little things on the screw and that peak insulator. To me, it ain't worth the, you know, the extra $60. And you know, I probably only use this for a couple more weeks, and it'll probably sit in the corner with my plume veil, sit in the corner with my magma, sit in the corner with my, you know, freak show, you know, all the other ones that, you know, we play with for a while, and then we sit them in the corner and we go back and grab them every now and again. I mean, that's the way I am. And you know, that's before I was reviewing. So you know, we go through this stuff so fast. I'm not paying $100 for each and every one of them. I ain't got it like that. But if you do, by all means, go ahead and get a couple of them. Send me one while you're doing it. Now I am going to be reviewing these tanks. I just got these tanks in, and they're OBS TVCT tank. top filling vapor chasers tank. Now I have played with one of them thus far, and I will say it's not bad. It's not bad. But I'll do like a little sneak peek real quick. I might as well do it now. It's a little sneak peek. Okay, so here's the tank. You know, you fill it from the top. Um, it's not bad. Let me close off this juice flow so you can see what I'm in this air. So you can see what I mean. You fill it right there. I mean, it's so easy to fill it. That's a plus. As far as the vapor, it's not bad. Now the coil, you know, they send this one in. I believe it's a 0.5. It's reading 0.57, and the recommended wattage for this one, I believe, is 10 to 35 watts. Okay. Now they do have some 0.2 bottom triangle Doyle coil. I'm gonna have to look at this coil and see which one it is. Well, I believe this one said 10 to 35 watts, but they have one or two that's going to go from 10 to 50 watts. But this one, I'm vaping it at 27 watts. Let me take a toke. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let me take another toke. I'm not a big cloud blower. I'm just learning how to blow a not so big cloud. Before, my clouds was like really like poofs. But this one, the airflow it's good. I mean, it's good. It's good. It gives you a nice airy airflow. Take another toke. And like I always say, you know, since they sent me two, I'm gonna send one of them away. I'm gonna give one of them away. So, I'll keep this one all nice and neat. I'll review this one, the one that I haven't used, and you know, when I show you the up and close, when I do that, and I'll send that one off to you guys. Um, I try to get back every time I can. But anyway, let me stop rambling on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making comments, whether they're stupid, good, and different, informative, you know, trying to, you know, tell me about something, trying to correct me. It doesn't matter. Comment is a comment, you know. What kills me in this little community, or this good community, is the people that think they know everything. It just kills me. I don't know everything. I can get corrected today and be like, okay. The people kill me, the ones that think they know everything. Um, it's sad. But and then, you know, those people that seem to think they know everything, they have a following. So when that one person says something, everybody else, you know, believe it to be true. And it's getting crazy. Wait till we find out that burying batteries is not necessary. I'm not saying that, that it's not necessary, but wait till somebody proves and says, wait a minute, all batteries aren't created equal. So if you get a Sony VTC5 and a Sony VTC5, this one may discharge way faster than this one, but they're married. Wait till somebody disproves that. It won't be me because I can't explain all that stuff, but in the back of my head, I'm saying, don't really make too much sense. But, you know, since I ain't got nothing else to go off, let me practice it that way. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me shut up. Let me take a toke. I heard somebody say the other day, or I think it was yesterday, um, don't run your SX over, it was like a certain degree, because it burns cotton at that temperature. And I'm sitting there reading that shit like, really? That's a scientific fact? Okay, cotton burns it. Let's just say, I don't remember the number. Let's say the number was 480. So you shouldn't run it over 480. The cotton is not, you're not The cotton is wet. It's trying to reach that temperature. I ran my cotton. I mean, I ran my temperature well above 480. I ran it in the fives, constantly, and I haven't burnt my cotton. So, some people are like, they, they take it too far. They take it too far. My comment to that was, that's scientific fact. I'm just telling you what I've done and what I've tried. And I've tried it over and it didn't burn the cotton. But maybe it's not really reaching the 500 and something degrees or whatever. Phil Brissato did a good video where he stuck a probe in there, and it was SX. It was reading, the SX was saying like 3 something, but his probe was reading 5 or 600. And then when he was at 500, it was reading around 500. So, who knows? But I'm just telling you, whatever temperature I've used, and I haven't maxed it out, but I've ran into 500 and it hasn't burnt my cotton. Let me stop, because I would just keep rambling on and rambling on and rambling on. This is supposed to be about this clone. The clone's supposed to get all the attention. Let me take another toke of this clone. So, yeah. So all these guys with the real ones that love it, you can afford $80. You probably could afford $15. Get yourself a clone and drop the clone. Don't drop your nice one. Try your clone out. I'd like to hear some of you guys' opinion that has a clone and the real one, and you tell me your difference. I wish I had a real one here to compare it to, but I'm sure it's some minor differences. But they be cloning the hell out of these things. This video is getting too long, and I'm rambling on and I'm rambling on. So let me cut this off right now. So if you know somebody that's on the stinky, especially a family member or a good friend that wants to stop smoking, give them some of your old equipment. Explain the battery safety. Explain the device that you're giving them. Tell them there's ton of flavors out there, so you can find something that you like. Let them borrow it out for a week. Tell them, hey, try this for a week. I know you're going to be smoking, but try and not to smoke and use this device that I give you. And in a week's time, we'll link back up. If you don't like it, give it back. If you like it, I'll tell you where to get one. Or if you're generous, you can give them that one until they get another one. But tell them, the online vendors, the local brick and mortars, if you live like in the sticks, maybe the online vendors might be the best thing. But yeah, tell them where they can get it. Start them off with something nice. What I hate, I'm going to keep talking. What I hate is when I go into vape stores and you see people that's like, has like a little pen, like the super duper cheap pen, and they say, man, I'm going to stop smoking for a week. And they go in there and they're buying another pen. I hate that, because the shop owners, where I've seen, shop owners aren't suggesting to them, hey, get a better device so that you can grow. Don't spend $30 on this pen. Maybe spend $40 on this, 20 watt or this 30 watt. That way, you can still use your little Cleros that you're using, but when you start building up and you're getting a sub-ohm Cleromizer or a little rebuildable tank, or, when you start building up, you don't have to buy another device to power that pen. So I always suggest, when you're telling somebody, tell them if they really want to stop or they like what you gave them, to invest in, at least a 20 watt device, at least, but, preferably, a 30 watt device. That way they can grow. You could drip on a 30 watt device. You build your coils high enough, you could drip. Like I had my wife build I believe it was 1.4 ohm coil with 26 gauge. So it's possible to build that high and still use those devices and get a good vape, So it's possible. There's so many different variables that you can do. But yeah, I'm rambling on again. So until the next time, pay it forward, and thank you so much for watching.